Hello, I'm Seema and welcome to part 4 of the chapter Thermodynamics. Moving on with our discussion on internal energy, I told you that we can bring about internal energy changes by either having the system do work or doing work on the system. And the other way to bring about a change in internal energy would be by exchange of heat. So having discussed these two ways, let us now come to a state I told you that for an internal energy change when only work is done, you need adiabatic walls of the container or the system or the adiabatic boundary, so that there is no exchange of matter or even heat with the surroundings, and you could use different ways, electrical energy or mechanical energy to carry out the work. And heat, when we used heat, I told you that we have walls that are thermally conducting, and thermally conducting walls through which heat can enter or leave, but the system should be closed so that there is no exchange of matter. And now when we carry out we allow heat to pass through the thermally conducting walls, there is work done on the system or by the system, depending on whether heat is absorbed or given out. In this case, there was no mechanical work or no work being done on the system. But in real life, or in a more general case, we find that we do not carry out reactions or processes don't take place in adiabatic walls. We have a situation where whatever system we are observing, thermodynamic system, its internal energy may be changing because of both the heat change and work being done. So under this condition, we know internal energy is the sum total of all energies. So the internal energy change, whether it is brought about by work or by heat, the internal energy change would be a sum of all of these. So that is what we see in the third situation, that there's a change of state which is occurring. Any system is going from a state A to state B, and the change of state is occurring by both work and heat. So internal energy change delta U now would be equal to Q, where Q is the heat which has been the internal energy change due to change in heat, that is change in temperature which may have been caused, and the work done. So it is a sum total of both the effects. So we say that for a given state, Q and W may vary on how a change is brought about. Now, the Q and W, you could be using more work and less of heat exchange, or you may be using less work and more of heat exchange, or it may be that the work, you also know about the negative and positive values of Q and W. Work and heat energy changes, they have negative values when work is being done on the system, or when heat is being given to the system, the values would be positive. But when heat is given out by the system and when work is done by the system, that is when the value of both Q and W are negative. So it is possible in real life that work is being done by the system, yet heat is being provided to it. So one of the values may be positive and the other may be negative. So the net effect of the two would be the change in the energy. So whatever is the net sum total of all the effects would be the change in internal energy. So, but remember, whatever a state is, state A and state B, I told you it doesn't depend, the conditions or the state variables of state A and state B do not depend on the path of the reaction. It does not depend on how the internal energy was changed. The internal energy at A and B will still be fixed. It is not going to, it is a fixed value here, it's a fixed value here, and you may use heat to come from here to here, or you may use work to come from here to here, or you may use a mixture of both to come from here to here. The values of U here and here are fixed. So we say that, but Q plus W, that is the change in internal energy, will depend only on the initial and the final state. The value of delta U would only depend on the difference between the internal energies of state A and state B. Let us assume a situation that the work done on a system is zero. There is no work being done by the system or on the system. And there is no heat exchange that is taking place. So this is an extreme. Here in the three parts we decided that in one part we said, in the first part we said that we're using only work. In the second situation we said we're using only heat to bring about the internal energy change. What if there is no work done and no internal energy change? Then what kind of a system would it be? In an adiabatic system, heat could not enter. But we had a pedal or we had an immersion rod which was causing the work to be done. So now if you have a system which has got adiabatic walls but even work cannot be done, then such a system would be called an isolated system. It's totally isolated. If it is totally isolated, now you can neither do work nor can you provide heat or take away heat from the system. So what will happen to the energy, internal energy of the system? It would remain constant. So change in internal energy would also be zero. If there is no change in work done, if there is no heat exchanged, then the internal energy of the system becomes constant and therefore there is no change in the internal energy. So we say for an isolated system where Q and W are zero, where Q and W are zero, the internal energy would not change or internal energy would be fixed for that state, right? So in isolated systems where there is no change in heat or work, the internal energy is fixed. Now there is one thing more that I would like to tell you. Internal energy is not an absolute value. When I told you internal energy of point A and point B are fixed, we know that. But what are their exact values? We don't know. We only know that when it moved from A to B, this was the energy change that occurred. We can only calculate practically the energy difference, how much heat was given, how much work was done or on either side. We can only calculate those values. So we can only calculate delta U. We do not know the actual values of UA and UB are not known to us. We can only calculate delta U. So we say U is not, therefore U for one particular state is not an absolute value. For example, if you take a substance and you find out its volume, the volume would be fixed. Okay, it is 1 liter, this is 1.5 liters. Volume is a fixed absolute value. You can give a fixed value to it, but internal energy is not an absolute value. You can only calculate the difference, the changes that are occurring, but the actual value from here to here, whatever it was, their individual values, we don't know. Coming back to this, the isolated system. This relation that delta U is equal to, or the change in internal energy is the sum of the heat exchanged and the work done. This is the mathematical form of the first law of thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, there are 4 laws. The 0th law of thermodynamics, the first law, the second law, and the third law. I will do a separate video on all these laws. But right now, let us come to the first law of thermodynamics. In the next video, I'll give you a brief introduction or idea of all the 4 laws. But let us now come to this because we are dealing with this particular topic. Delta U is equal to Q plus W. This is the mathematical expression for the first law of thermodynamics. What is the statement of this law? What does it say? That the energy of an isolated system is constant. Or if you change the language a little, what does it mean? If the energy is constant, it means whatever be the value of Q, whatever be the value of W, the sum of these two is fixed at a certain state. So what does this tell us? That for a certain state, whatever the value of Q would be 0, but the value of W would be equal to U. If the value of W is 0, the value of Q should be equal to U. But the sum of these two would also always be equal to U. So what does this tell us? That ultimately U is constant. So what would we say? That this is also known as the law of conservation of energy. That the energy, internal energy, is conserved It may change its form. It may be in the form of work, it may be in the form of heat, it may be in the form of electrical work, it may be in the form of mechanical work, whatever be the energy form, the form in which the energy is present, the sum total of the energy for a particular state is fixed. This is first law of thermodynamics, which is commonly known as the law of conservation of energy. That energy, if you take the entire universe as your system, then the energy of the universe is constant. That is how we reach this conclusion that the energy of the universe is constant. Energy only changes its form. Whatever changes are occurring around us, you may see whether it is wind energy, whether it is whatever energy it is, heat energy coming from the sun, whatever processes are taking place in the universe, on the whole, the universe has constant energy. So it is known as the law of conservation of energy, and the other statement is that the energy of an isolated system is constant, and the mathematical expression for the first law of thermodynamics is delta U is equal to Q plus W. Now there is this one question given in your NCERT text part. Express U, you have to express the internal energy when there are three situations given. First is that no heat is absorbed. No heat is absorbed, but work is done by the system. It means, what kind of work would this be? No heat is absorbed means that the walls should be adiabatic. So the work that is done should be adiabatic work. So what type of wall does the system have? It has adiabatic walls, because it's only through the adiabatic walls that there is no exchange of heat. The second situation is that no work, when you have such a situation that no heat is absorbed but work is done by the system. So delta U we know is equal to Q plus W, right? Q here is 0 plus W. So here Q is 0, and what about W? Work is done by the system. So the value of W here would be, if the work is done by the system, the value of W should be negative. So here delta U, since this is 0, we would say for the first equation delta U should be equal to minus W. And what kind of work is it? It is adiabatic work. So we can write it as W adiabatic. So in the first situation, the walls would be adiabatic walls, and an expression for delta U should be this. Okay, so now the second part is that no work is done on the system, right? No work is done on the system, but Q amount of heat is taken out and given to the surroundings. In this situation now, Q amount of heat is taken out. Work is 0, so W is 0. Delta U would be equal to Q, but what would be the value of Q be? Would it be positive or would it be negative? Now, heat is taken out whenever energy is lost by the system. When heat is taken out, it means energy is lost. So the internal energy would decrease, and therefore internal energy for the second case would be minus Q. It would be a negative value. Here I am putting the negative to tell you that energy is being given out, so it will have a negative value. Now no work is done on the system, but Q amount of heat is taken out and given to the surroundings. What type of wall would this system have? Now in this system, there is no work being done, but heat is going out of the walls. It means the walls are thermally conducting walls. The third situation they've given you is the W amount of work is done by the system and Q amount of heat is supplied to the system. What type of system would it be? Now in this situation, we have this more general case where both heat energy and work are being exchanged or are being done. But what will be the values? Would they be positive or would they be negative? We know delta U is Q plus W, and both the values are positive when work is being done by the on the system and when heat is being absorbed by the system. But what are we told here? Work is done by the system. It means here delta U would be equal to the work. The work is negative because work is being done by the system. Heat is supplied and Q amount of heat is supplied to the system. So Q is positive. So Q minus W. Positive Q minus W. The value of the work will cause decrease in internal energy because work is being done by the system, and heat is being supplied to the system. So heat will cause an increase in internal energy. The sum total or the net effect of both of these would be the change in internal energy. So this was internal energy. In the next video, I'm going to briefly tell you about all the 4 thermodynamic laws before we proceed with our studies of thermodynamics. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, recommend it to your friends, and please keep returning for more videos in chemistry. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye for now.